Oh, good morning. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm actually walking from home into Milton Keynes city centre. It's going to be a bit different today because I've purchased a new lens. The lens I've purchased is a 7Artisan and it's a 7.5 fisheye lens. So you can see it sitting on the camera there. Very nice size, nicely weighted. This lens cost me £129 from Amazon, and I checked this morning and it's now gone up to £149. But nevertheless, it was quite a cheap lens. Well, should I say cheap? I haven't really tested it yet. Perhaps we should say good value. It's fully manual, so it doesn't communicate with the camera at all. So what you need to do on the, or any camera comes with that, but on the Canon M50 Mark II, you have to go into the menu and set it so that the shutter will release without a lens, and then your lens will work on this camera. It's got the aperture adjustments actually on the lens, so you set that. You've got manual focus obviously on the lens, and then all I need to do is set the ISO and the shutter speed. So it's a nice bright sunny day today, so I'm setting the ISO to 100 ISO, and then all I've got to worry about is adjusting the aperture, the focus and the shutter speed. Now, I've never really tried a fisheye lens before, so this is a first for me. I did some years ago, but the first for me on digital anyway. So when I tend to go out on photo shoots, I sort of set myself little projects. So obviously this project is to use the fisheye lens, but the photos I'm going to take, I think, is architecture. Now of course we're in Milton Keynes, so it's fairly modern architecture, and I just want to see how this fisheye lens performs, taking shots of buildings, look up shots, that type of thing, rather than street photography and people. We'll see, we might get the odd bit of people photography in. When you go out doing photography, sometimes it's worth setting yourself a project, you know, whether it's landscapes or buildings or street photography. In my case, I tend to put a lens on so that I can see how the lens performs and just keep to that one lens. Maybe change it once, but I don't change the lens all the time. I just like to see how a lens performs, but I do set myself a project. Now it could be street photography, taking people photos where they're using phones, or look up shots, a bit of landscape, that type of thing. So as I say, today is all about cityscape photography. So that's my project along with the fisheye lens. So I did come up with an idea the other day to go down to London and just have one lens and just take photos of doors and entrances, and maybe with people walking across with light and all that sort of thing, but you can get some pretty nice entrances and doors. I'm heading towards Milton Keynes now, so when we get there I'll catch up with you and see how this 7Artisan lens performs. So see you in a moment. Okay, we've just reached the edge of the city now and buildings, so I'm going to get this camera started, get some warm-up shots, some look-up shots. There's a shot that I've taken before actually of this building behind us. Let's just, this one just here, it's got a nice sort of rounded end to it, and I took a really good look-up shot. Well, I thought it was good anyway. But I'm going to start with that building, and then I'm going to go over to this new hotel. Let's just show it to you. So that's just there, and they started building that just before the pandemic, and they've been building it through the pandemic. It's absolutely brilliant. It's got reflective sort of mirrors as the outside, so you know, it's reflecting blue skies and clouds and that sort of thing. And I'm going to see what sort of shot we can get with the fisheye lens with that one. It's actually open now. We're in April, end of April in 2022, so it's open and being used. Apparently it's got a nice restaurant at the top that looks over Milton Keynes and looks over the Campbell Park, where I've done a few photo shoots. So it'd be nice to get up there one day. But I'm going to take some shots of that and this building that I showed you just now, this one here, and then just walk through the city and see what we can get. So I'll catch you in a moment, and hopefully the shots turn out. I'll put them up on the screen with the settings for you. Okay, I've taken a few warm-up shots. One of the things that I did find with this was that I was struggling to see what was in focus, mainly probably because my eyes are bad, but what I did was turned on focus peaking, which is really good, so you just have to go into the menu to do that, and then I've set that to red, and it just shows you where the picture's in focus. And once you've set it and you've got that nice neat focus point, you don't really need to change the focus. It just seems to just give you infinity, which is really good. So it's just finding that nice sweet spot for the focus, and then you can just snap away. And all I'm changing really is the shutter speed. I've changed the aperture a couple of times. One for the sun shot, which hopefully that came okay, because I wanted a bit of a starburst. So you just want to make that aperture nice and small. So this lens, the smallest you can have it is 16, f16. Put it on f16 and took it towards the hotel, pointing up, and hopefully got a bit of a sunburst. But mainly my setting is on about just over 4, and actually this control on here, the ring, it doesn't click into place. It's just continuous, so you can just sort of smoothly move the ring round. So I've got it just about 4, just over 4, f4, just adjusting my shutter speed really, depending on what direction I'm pointing. So hopefully those pictures come okay. I'm just walking a bit further into the town now, and to see what other buildings we can get. I'll catch up with you later. Okay, well, so far I could safely say that I'm definitely having fun with this lens. It's a great little lens, and the fact that I've got focus peaking on and I don't need to worry about the focus because it just seems to be in focus once you've found that sort of infinity spot. The lens itself is a really nice size on the camera, so it's quite nice to carry, and you'll see here we've got the adjustment on the side for the f-stop or the aperture. So I've got that. It goes down to 2.8 up to 16. So smallest size 16, largest size 2.8. But I've got it round about 4 to 5.6, something like that. And then it's literally just a matter of really pointing and shooting. I'm just changing the shutter speed, but I've got to say it's really fun. You've seen the photos, I've looked at them in the back of the camera, so I'm hoping they've come out okay. But definitely at the moment I'm recommending this lens just to have something different to do for a change. It's giving a completely different perspective on the buildings and the shots. Okay, they're a bit curved, but you know, a bit of artistic license there. At the moment I'm loving it, and I definitely recommend it at the moment. But let's see what it's like when we get back to Lightroom and how they come out. But I've only been out a little while now, so I've got quite a long way to go round the city, find a few more buildings and architecture. I'm enjoying looking at the moment for shadows and light and shapes of the building, which is quite nice. The time at the moment is about 9:05 in the morning, so the sun's reasonably low, and it's now warming up. It was freezing this morning, and now I'm getting a bit hot. But anyway, I'll catch up with you in a moment and hope the next lot of shots come out okay, and I'll speak to you in a moment. By the way, if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any future videos. And when you get to the end, if you liked it, don't forget that thumbs up. I'll remind you again at the end anyway. Okay, see you in a moment. Hopefully those last shots come out okay. I just wanted to talk about sort of going out doing photography locally, because what surprised me today is that I've come out especially to take pictures of, you know, offices and architecture in Milton Keynes, which is all fairly newish in relative to places like, you know, London or old cities. But one of the things about coming out and walking around locally is that unless you're a walker, which, you know, I like walking, but I just go to get to my destination. I don't go the long way round or through side roads and side paths. But today, because I'm looking for buildings and I want to get the sun in the right position, I've started walking in places I've never walked before, literally 5 seconds away from where I would normally walk, and I'm finding things like little tiny ponds and streams and great places to sit. So this is great for people that are working here or living here, because you've got all these little green spaces. And you know, I know about some of them, but this one, for example, it's just unbelievable. Where did it come from? Obviously I need to get out walking more, rather than just stay into the main tracks. This is absolutely beautiful around here. Anyway, I hope those shots come out okay. I'm going to carry on walking. I've been all the way down to one end of the city where the train station is, and now I'm walking back up and weaving my way in and out and finding locations just like this. Let's just show you again. Absolutely brilliant. Anyway, I'm going to get on now and see what more shots. And by the way, I'm definitely having fun with this lens. I do hope the pictures come out, but it really is a fun lens. It's just something different, and I definitely recommend it. Hopefully I don't change my mind when I see the photos back on the computer at home. Anyway, I'll catch up with you in a moment. One of the things I've noticed with this lens, because it's so wide, I mean 7.5 is really wide, is that if the sun's behind you, it seems it's so wide that it captures your shadow, so you have to keep walking around so that you haven't got your shadow in the shot. Now I'm just walking up here and I can see the jury's in, and I'm not sure, let me turn around, and I can see some lovely light just on the side of the building, and I'm hoping to capture this. I mean, this is really inspiring me to go back and change lenses and come back out again with another lens, but I think my wife's got other plans for me, so we'll have to leave that for another day. Just out of interest, I am going down to London next week, so there will be another London video, hopefully some street photography, coming out after this one, so don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss it. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can capture some of this light that's falling on the side of this jury's inn. I've just taken a few shots of what's known as the Point in Milton Keynes. It's actually, I mean, Milton Keynes should be embarrassed about it now, really. This was, when I first moved here 30 years ago, this was the centre of entertainment. Bars, discos, nightclubs, cinema, and the whole thing has just been let to go, really. This is all closed up, nothing really going on here, and it's just a bit of an eyesore, but it used to be so lovely. They could do with at least painting it or knocking it down, but I think it's one of these buildings they don't want to knock down because it's so famous. But anyway, I've taken a few shots just in case they do knock it down, so we've got some memories of it, and hopefully my other shots have come out okay. So I'm nearly back now. I'm up the other end of the city. I'm just going past the ski dome in a second, then over to Campbell Park and back home. So I'll catch up with you again in a moment. I must admit, I really enjoyed using this lens and I'm really pleased with the results. So this is a lens that I would definitely recommend. For the price, it's great fun and it just gives you some really interesting photos. Anyway, if you like the video and the photos, please give me that thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.